You are in the Warriors Huddle with me, Bram, and with me, per usual, my master of all things video and sound, Maxime,
How's it going?
and my boy and producer, MT.
What's up, Dev Nation?
Gentlemen, exciting episode. I think like my favorite episodes to do are after playoff wins. It's not that I'm not continuing to be neurotic or crazy and hell of nervous, but at least for like a sport or a short little spurt of time, I get to just be happy, and there's no game today to take away that happiness. I can just focus on what went down last night. So this episode is finding me in a pretty good place. How about you boys, man? How you guys feeling?
I mean, how can you not feel good after stealing game one on the road against the number 2 seed? So, yeah, it's always a fun time of year. I think this weekend is always a fun time where you just get, every Eastern Conference and Western Conference games is kind of tipping off. You get 4 games in a row, back-to-back days. So, it's our equivalent of a little March Madness or a little World Cup. So it was fun watching and always good when you come out with the W.
A glimpse into my neurosis. So like I should be telling you guys my favorite time of all is watching the playoff games. That would be a lie. It's 100% a lie. I look forward to it the whole way through. Those the days of the playoffs are big deals for me. They feel like birthdays. But when the game is actually being played, there's so much stress involved. Like it's like anything bad could happen at any moment. My favorite time are where we are right now. The Warriors have won. Other teams are going to play. There's no chance of this happiness being taken away from me today or tomorrow. So I just kind of get to like not only bask in it, but I get to judge the other teams. Like right now I get to look down on the Lakers. They can fuck themselves. Like anybody who's going in the wrong direction, I feel superior to. And who knows if that'll be true, Thursday morning. So I'm just sucking it all in right now. How about you, Maxime? How you feeling?
So yesterday was Easter, and my mom likes to celebrate it loosely, and so we were out there with her. She's also a really big Warriors fan, but we had to get home for Felix's bedtime, so it was an absolutely perfect afternoon, beautiful day. Felix had a little Easter egg hunt. It was super cute, and then I came home and and then we put him to bed, so I was on tape delay for the first couple of quarters, and I realized, if they fucking blow this game and I've had this beautiful, perfect day, and now my mom and I are just pissed off texting each other back and forth, I'm going to be so mad, especially when we go up, whatever it was, like 23. And then almost immediately Fitz says something to the effect of, well, last time they blew a 30-point lead. I'm like, oh, shut up. Like, this is not the energy we need right now. So anyways, all's well that ends well. It was a great time to enjoy a Warriors win. And I also realized I had some friends that like asked if they wanted to watch the game with me. And, as I just said, I was out at Easter. I couldn't make it happen. I don't enjoy, like, I'll watch the game with you guys because we're on the same level of fandom. But like, if you're not locked in, I don't have time and energy for you to be like, hey man, like, what do you think of these nachos? It's like, no, shut the fuck up. I'm trying to watch the game right now. So very happy to have been able to watch it by myself.
Still saying, what do you think of these nachos? I'm definitely not asking people about their nacho experience at any point during the game. If you had a silent film of me on fast forward during a game, you could tell the score. Not like specific, but you could tell like, are they winning or losing? Because I'm like super demonstrative, hell of happy, talking about whatever it is anybody wants to talk about except for nachos. And then if they're not playing, I'm just not talking at all. I'm hella pissy in the corner. I'm kind of looking down. I'm looking for excuses to get away from the group so that I can be angry and like talk to myself like fucking Gollum. It is what it is. But I tell you what, enough eating around the corners. Let's jump in, boys. We got a couple of major segments today. We're going to do a glass half full where we get to look back at that last game. I've got a golden question for you. We've got some predictions. And then if we have time, I've got a story that I think once again conclusively proves that women are smarter than men. But let's take these things one at a time, dude. Glass half full. Look back at game one. Give me something you like or don't like.
Playoff Jimmy, and not just specifically playoff Jimmy, but the way that he had control in the final couple of minutes of the game. It was like 2 minutes and 40 seconds left. Draymond gets a rebound, fucking finally, on either end of the court. Jesus Christ. And like chucks it ahead to Jimmy, right? And it was like, okay, we're not concerned about an 8-second violation here or whatever. And I was terrified because we're really great at turning the ball over at pivotal moments. But like, it was clear that he was just as worried about getting the ball to Jimmy as I was. And it was like, as soon as Jimmy had the ball, I was like, oh, cool. It's totally under control. Everything is really safe. Steph goes up for a layup on maybe the next play, misses it, and we had a clutch, maybe our first offensive rebound of the whole fucking game for Jimmy to put it back in. I just felt, I mean, I was still stressed, right? It was like 7 points, 5 points, 4 points, somewhere in there that whole time. But I felt so much more relaxed than I would have been without him on the court. And it's just such a glorious feeling to have somebody that can slow it down, stay in control, and be super locked in, because we're otherwise a little bit chaotic. So playoff Jimmy, thank you for being on with the Dubs.
Kirk called him their designated driver, which I loved. It's such a smart, I mean, that's exactly, like, other people get behind the wheel, even Steph occasionally. I'm like, is this a smart idea? Like, is this safe? You sure we're safe? And when Jimmy gets it, I feel like he's like putting in the seatbelt, following the rules, making sure we're doing everything right. So yeah, I like that. MT?
I like that we're starting to settle, and by we, Kerr, on a rotation that players can kind of expect and get used to. It's still a little all over the place, with like will Post or Looney come in. It kind of depends, but I think it's just helpful. And, it sucks that JK is out of that loop, but, like glass half full, at least we have clarity on it now. And I think, we package him up in the off season with TJD and, Key and somebody and try to get a player back. But I just like that he's taking a stance on it. Like, we start off the season, like, he's like, oh, you can't run more than 10 people. And we're like trotting out hockey lineups and doing full line switches and, playing 13 people. And then he went the other way and was like, stop playing everybody. So now he's kind of found this middle ground, hopefully. And I know it's matchup dependent, but it was encouraging to see that he's just going to stick with the lineups and the rotations, and you have to make plays.
Of course, you're right. And I don't mean to make light of it. And I've never been in an NBA team room. I've never done film study. I've never prepared for a game. But my assumption is that at some point during the week before the game, they have like a big whiteboard and there's keys. Like, these are the things that need to happen in order for us to win. And I like the idea of key number one being like, JK doesn't play for shit. And then they all read it. They look over at him. Did you see key one? Like, just so you know, we're on the same page. One of the over-unders we did when we missed you last week, MT, was 15. How many minutes does JK play in the entire series? All right. And I can tell you that I watched the game last night with some people who thought my number was really low, that I was being very silly by putting it at 15. And by the end of the game, the people didn't think I was being so fucking silly anymore. For you, over under 15 full series, does JK play more or less minutes?
Under.
Yeah.
And I would bet something substantial on it. Like,
it sure as hell felt like that, man.
I mean, this is going to be a good series. I know we stole the first one, but I think we should get ready for a longer series. I don't think we're going to sweep them. And I don't think JK is going to magically find himself in the lineup against this team.
But like I said, I took the under. Two things I like. All right. I have said a million different ways into this microphone that I'm running out of the proper way to say that Steph, how'd Breen put it? The brilliance of Steph Curry continues, that he keeps doing these things that like feel like they're impossible. So watching that game yesterday gave me 3 new ways. Way number 1, he hits shots so fucking impossible, that a superstar who has been referring to him as Batman for 3 weeks can't believe him, is literally shaking his head when hitting 3. I spent the last, 10 to 14 days being told that Amen Thompson was a fucking Steph stopper. We had no chance. This guy's youth and athleticism was going to eat Curry alive. 31 points later, he can fuck himself. The brilliance of Steph Curry continues. And then finally, watching Houston fan base's PTSD response. I get, Jabari Smith wasn't around when we beat James Harden, and Dylan Brooks wasn't in a uniform when we beat these guys' ass over and over again. But you know who was? Those season ticket holders, and you could see it right in their face, especially when they were sprinting back. And it looked like, this is going to be done. And then, nope, Steph hit a couple 3 and the PTSD set in, which was excellent. And I'll give you one more thing I liked. The Warriors showed all of the deficiencies we've gotten used to throughout the year. Couldn't get a rebound to save our life. We are turning the ball over like it's the thing to do. We had stretches where the offense was gone, where we had to think to ourselves, I guess a GPT or GP2-3 is the best thing that can happen here. Despite all of those, we walked away with a win. So I think we can play better, but we leaned into the things we were worried about, and we're still up 1-0. So I like it. I got others, but I don't want to go too much here. Are there other things that stick out to you guys?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think one of the greatest calls ever is when he hit that shot and the announcer said, geometrically, that should not have happened. It's like he was so pumped he didn't know what to say, and he went with geometrically, that should not have happened. It's just a
I
great
like it.
call
I
of
like
all time.
mathematically impossible shots, dude. I'm
Exactly.
100% on board for those.
Geometrically, that should not have happened. It's like,
I like Udoka wasting challenges. So he caused that challenge on the Amen Thompson block, and that was a charge. And I was just excited as that happened, in the actual flow of the game. And when they won, a thing I'll do if a win's big enough is I'll rewatch the fourth quarter, because now there's no pressure, and I could just stare and enjoy it. So I rewatched it, and down the line, there was after they had wasted the challenge, there's a ball that goes very, very clearly off of Draymond. They can't challenge it. And what I didn't recognize when I was watching it live is after that, the Warriors throw it in, and it's a Steph three, a backbreaking three. And had Udoka not shit the bed, that three doesn't go in. So there you go. It's another thing I desperately like.
and Pods immediately told them to challenge, right? Like he takes him and he's like, yeah, you should challenge that. You should challenge that.
I felt like that was some shades of CP3. It was like, oh, this is why Chris Paul was on the team last year, right? Like, it's that like petty bullshit that I feel like Chris Paul would have done too. Like, let's go, Pods. Like, make him challenge it. I love that energy.
I'll make it a like and don't. I like that both Pods and Moody showed the moment wasn't too big. Moody hit a huge three in the fourth that we desperately needed, and Pods had a bunch of plays, including contributing on an offensive rebound that led to a Butler bucket. Thing I don't like, that thing you guys are talking about, that pompous as hell, go ahead and replay this, which was great. He didn't miss one of the free throws, and it was just like, well, and he looked a little nervous on the free throw line. Like, you can't be pompous pre-commercial break and then kind of look like I might not make one of these post-commercial break. Like I'm going to need you to continue the confidence as we move on.
Chalupa, everybody, because I'm about to miss both of these.
It is what it is. Don't like the Steph still doesn't get calls. How many times am I going to say it? So I won't say it again here. I don't like watching offensive rebounds. I just don't. I've used this stupid ass analogy before. I'll do it again. Years and years ago, my family and I went to a picnic out in San Francisco. It was at some park on a Sunday, and it was bananas crowded. So we do a loop around, can't find parking. I let Kylie and Eric out they go. And then I do like 5 more loops around and still can't find it. Get pissed off at the parking scenario where I considered leaving. Where I was going to call them and be like, this isn't working. And then a spot opens up. And so I pull a U-turn, get hella close. And right before I get in that spot, somebody else fucking takes it. And I got to start all the way over. That's what an offensive rebound feels like to me. You try, you do everything you can. You get the thing, you've done the work. There it is. And then you start back over. Dude, and like by the second, third, fourth time, keeping your eye on the ball, continuing to look for the spot or continue to look for the stop, it's a pain in the ass, dude. Like it's emotionally draining. So yeah, I don't like that at all. And then the final thing I don't like, watching 23-point leads diminish during playoff games. I had people at the house. I almost had to ask people to leave. Like I don't know how I'd be sitting here if like what would have happened had they lost that game. I can just make the joke now. We survived it. Here we are. But do I like that experience? Fuck no, I do not. I do not like any portion of it at all.
Yeah, that's the nacho test. If somebody asks me how I feel about the nachos when I'm losing that 23-point lead, that's when you're going to get some nachos thrown in your fucking face, It was not okay. It was not a good time. I agree with you. We don't need to get into it. There was a specific play in the third where Steph gets the rebound and then is grabbed by, like 6 people on the Houston court side of the ball somehow on his way to the basket. Just absolute insanity. You could tell that he was very frustrated with that one in particular. And it just like seemed when you're going coast to coast, like, come on, like one of these refs is seeing this, right? Another thing that I don't like, which is kind of facetious, I'm sorry to say, but it's just that we've made it this far into the podcast without saying what's up to our new Slack Patreon members.
Hey, sure.
So shout out to Christina and Keenan. Thank you for joining us. Just wanted to call that out because, hey, we've had actually some pretty cool response already for the Patreon crew joining in. So hop up on Patreon. That's a quick plug while we're in the middle of the episode for it, because we would love to see you guys in the Slack channel breaking down the playoffs with us.
Welcome to the family. You have no idea how much this means. You are allowing this show to kind of continue and then hopefully for it to reach its full power. As far as Steph not getting calls, there's that moment in the third quarter where the refs are just handing us fouls. You know, I mean, like to us, we're in the bonus with a minute past, and they gave a foul to Moses. They gave a foul to Jimmy. They were just handing out fouls to everybody. And then Steph got fouled and they're like, nope, fuck you. Like it was like everybody going up and getting candy, like in Halloween. And then one Kim was like, nope, they shut the door in his face. It's like, he's got the best costume. Like that's our best player, dude. And it just, the disrespect continues. And I don't know if it will ever stop. Which leads to my golden question, and it's aimed mostly at you, MT. So here's the question. Did game one change how you view this series or your predictions? It's aimed at you because we didn't get your predictions. So before game one, what did you think was going to happen? And did this change or support or anything? How did they come together?
So before game one, I thought Warriors in 6. I still hold my hope for my extremely ambitious guarantee with Sam, where I said the Warriors lose in the championship in game 7 to Boston. So in order to do that, we got to get past these Rockets first. Exactly. So I still think it's Warriors in 6. The first game 1 didn't change anything. I'm nervous. Glass half full is that Ime Udoka will have noticed the difference that Steven Adams makes, and he's always been a pain for us. Like during that sequence when they just had all those offensive rebounds and you were watching it, Bram, I was watching it too, and I was like, where's Kevon Looney? Put Kevon Looney in. He'll get it for us. And then they cut, and Kevon Looney's bent over, breathing hard because he just committed a foul and he wasn't doing shit. I was like, oh, wait, he was in there the whole time? That's like our kryptonite for offensive rebounding woe. So I was like, if he can't get him, then we're in trouble. And I feel like Ime is going to figure that out, and he's going to go with the big lineup of Alpi and Steven Adams and Jabari Smith, and who knows who else, like Dylan, and just really go big. But I still think we figure it out. I think we split the game. I think we lose game 2, go back and split it at home, and then we win the last 2.
I like it. Does this change? I also had the Warriors in 6. Does this change my prediction on any of that? No. In fact, it almost solidified it for all the things that we talked about on both sides of the ball happened. I'm like, we talked about the Warriors showing their shortcomings. So did Houston. Everyone talked like, what do they do in the half court? Who's their go-to scorer? What happens if Van Vliet's 3 isn't falling? Like all of that stuff, that's ultimately what played out. And I'll tell you what, another thing I like that I should have included. I like that the Warriors won this on their defense. We talked about the offense. It's important. But as far as things you can replicate, are going to happen again, the defensive pressure that they brought is something that they can replicate. I mean, I do kind of count on mathematically impossible shots from Steph, but I feel better about their ability to strangle the life out of the offense of the Rockets. And so do I think that this continue? Yes, I do. I do also still expect, I thought they were going to lose the first one. I'll transfer that over to the second one. I think they split it. So does this change anything for me? No. MT, Maxime called Warriors in 5. So what do you think, dude? Watch this first one. Are you still thinking 5? What changes, if any, does this make for you?
Oh, I'm not going to say Warriors in 4 now, but it did definitely increase my confidence. It's the point that you were trying to make, but just to drill into some more specifics, when all those shots weren't falling for us in the first quarter, we were still competitive. We were still winning, right? Like that's because the defensive prowess. It's also because the Warriors have been here before, and you could see these young guys start to kind of lose it a little bit when these impossible shots start falling, when they eat into our 23-point lead, but we don't shit the bed and we maintain our focus. It's a game of runs, right? They won on a huge run. We still won the game. Everything that could have gone right for the Rockets, went right, knowing that they don't have a great half-court offense. And the thing is, if I hated watching the offensive rebounds too, for sure, but offensive rebounds are indications that you're missing shots. right? So at least we're seeing that this stat, which we knew that they were one of the best in the league at the offensive rebounds, are coming because they're just not hitting in their half court offense. So I think everything is working out for us. We're going to come out a little bit more, a little bit less flat footed in the first quarter of game 2. I think we're going to win game 2 as well. And then we'll see what happens from there.
The next segment's going to be a prediction segment. Before we do, let me make it a question real quick. Actually, I'll make it an admission. You guys tell me if it's the same for you. During a game, even when they're up big, I make a bunch of terrible, pessimistic, internal predictions about that game to like guard my heart. I'll give you a stupid example. Sengun hits that ridiculous end of the shot clock 3 from the corner that Draymond's draped all over him. It goes in. I don't remember what it reduced the lead to, but it was still in excess of like 13, 14 points. Like we were still up 16 or whatever. When that happened, I said internally, oh, we're losing this game. Like 100%. Like I said it like 50 times, and it was more to protect myself, but I also kind of believed it. Do you guys do that? Like not say it out loud, but like inside, like, oh, we're fucked now. Like there's no upside anymore.
I do if it's other plays. On that play, I felt a little more confident because I was like, if they're not going to hit that all the time. If that's the only way they're scoring, then we're good. And then they started scoring much easier other ways. And then I started panicking. But if they need to rely on Alpern's Şengün fadeaway 3-pointers from the corner with Draymond draped over him, we'll take that shot 10 times out of 9. So, but yeah, I do have that inner monologue for sure. It usually comes with the silly turnovers when it's just like those ones are just like, here we go. Like, because it feels like we just can't stop it. It's like we have to have at least 5 of them in a row before we are willing to stop doing it. It's like, I don't understand it. Like, just if you're going to call a timeout, just come out and don't do that. I don't care what you do. Just don't do a silly turnover. And we still do a silly turnover.
My kid is playing hoop. They are getting better now. They're getting a little bit older, but earlier on, kids throw what I was calling moonball passes. They throw it way up and then it comes back down into the other person's hands. And, that leads to steals. And so I'm working with Kylie and we're like, oh, sweetie, one of the things we don't do is throw moonball passes. And she goes, Steph throws those all the time.
Oh, boy.
So it was what it was. A little critique from my 9-year-old. Also a correction real time here. Earlier, I said you could tell what the score of the game was by watching a silent footage of me. I'm going to go ahead and take that back. If you'd watched silent footage of me as the Sengun shot went in, you would have thought we were down 45. Or like all of the turnovers that were happening then. Like, they've definitely lost game 1. Like I had a Bram that's apparently losing years off their life. So I take that back. Okay, we got a prediction segment here. But before we do, a quick ad read.
Underdog just became one of the best places to make picks during the basketball playoffs with their extender promo. With the extender, you can play your way to increasingly bigger boosts each round of the playoffs. Underdog is one of the leading sports apps, and you can play now in your state. Their app has over 100,000 5-star reviews and millions of players. To play, all you have to do is download the app and choose whether a player will go higher or lower on one of their stats. You can choose from things like points, assists, and so much more. If you get your picks correct, you could win up to 1,000 times your money. So you could turn $1 into $1,000 just with your hoops knowledge. This week on Underdog, I'm locked in on the playoffs, and I'm telling everyone to keep discounting the dubs at their own peril. For me, that looks like selecting Jimmy Butler to go higher than 5 assists and Steph to go higher than 30 points in Game 2. Download the Underdog app and sign up with promo code WHP to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. That's promo code WHP for Warriors Huddle Podcast. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona and Massachusetts, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/extend.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
To our prediction segment, a couple of logistics worth noting here. 1, Matty Stats is out there listening. He is making sure that we'll be held accountable for all of our guesses. 2, these lines were not made up. These come from Vegas. All right, they are all over unders. The first number is 22.5. How many points will Jimmy Butler go for in Game 2? I'll go first. I'll take the over. I think he had over last night. I think that they're really, really, really going to focus in on Steph. And I tell you what, we're running late, so I won't go analysis. I'll just say over. What do you guys got?
Over. I'm with you.
Same.
10.5. How many rebounds will Sengun get in game 2? MT, why don't you take this one first?
10.5. I'm going to go under, but just because they're going to go, I'll go to Steven Adams.
Yeah.
Maxine?
It's the same exact analysis. Yeah.
I take the over because I think they're going to get 5,000 rebounds, and I'm sure that there will be enough for everybody, including the giant New Zealander. All right, Draymond. The number is 20.5. It combines points, rebounds, and assists. Whew, that number is like right on the money.
Mm-hmm.
I will. Shit, I'm being optimistic. I'll take the over. Why not? Let's go.
You said 20.5?
20.5.
I'm going to go over too. I think he has a 7-8-7 stat line.
Mm-hmm.
Solid triple single, Charles Barkley.
Yeah, I would agree, except I'm gonna shave down the points and add a little bit more on the assists, right? He's just like he's doing a lot of work on both ends of the court, and I don't think that his shot's gonna be falling nearly as much. And it does seem like Houston got the memo that dude is kind of back to shooting a decent 3-point percentage. They're just not leaving him as open as we've seen in previous games. So I just don't think he's gonna be as effective scoring the basketball.
Will there be a technical foul in game 2? None of the game 1.
0.5?
0.5, sure.
Yes.
I say there'll be 2. I'll take the over on 1.5.
Oh. Yeah, wow. No, I'll take the over on 0.5, but I just think there's the 1. No, you know what? Yeah, 1 on each side. Yeah. Like,
Let's go.
Some players get into a fight and there's a technical on each end.
That's what I'm thinking. I think it's going to be offsetting techs. You know what? The related I like when Steve Kerr called that timeout to prevent what felt like an escalating interaction between Sengun and Draymond. I thought that they were reviewing the play, and it wasn't. Steve was just like, nope, I've seen this movie before. Let's go ahead and cut it off before we get to the inevitable end of it. So great job by him. The line, gentlemen, the Warriors are 2-point underdogs tomorrow. 2-point underdogs. It's Golden State +2. I take Houston -2. I do think we lose this next game. I still have us on the series, but that's my guess.
I agree. I'm with you. I think we lose this game.
Nah, man. We're taking the over. I mean, I'm taking the over. Yeah. Warriors winning it, whatever that means.
There you go. Not the over, but you landed it.
Yeah,
you ultimately found it out. We will we'll know where we stand after this next game. Quick story before we get out of here. All right. And the tagline on this, I believe, is that boys are smarter than girls. So I've got a little girl. I've now gotten to see how little girls are as they're growing up, little boys. There's been a million examples. The most recent of which, my kids' team just had the end of their season. And instead, like when I was growing up, when our season ended, we went to a round table, dude. It was just one team, and they handed out a couple awards. We had some pizza. And that was that. That's not true anymore, I guess. They brought in 50 teams. It's everyone in the league who is run by this organization. She is part of the Oakland Rams. So all of the Oakland Rams came in, and that means from kindergarten almost through high school, boys and girls. Last year, we did a similar banquet, and it took forever. It was like a 3-hour affair. This year, they very obviously told everyone, we're limited to about 90 minutes here. And one of the ways we can cut it down is coaches. You say less, players, they say more. It's up to the kids. You can't force them to talk, but you can give them the mic if you want. And throughout the evening, the consistent standard is they ask the little girls to talk, they grab the mic, and they say things like, look, my favorite part of the season, Jamboree. We lost a bunch, but taught me how to be a teammate, taught me about camaraderie. We had fun together. It's like all of these building things, what you would say in a sportsmanship kind of setting, across the board. The boys didn't really want to talk. They'd say their name, but that's it. Pass. And at the end, one of the coaches said, no, this little boy is perfect. Didn't say little. This guy is perfect to explain our team and how it goes. So the kid grabs the mic and he goes, yeah, last year we cooked. We won every game. We were incredible. This year we added 2 players and now we're terrible. And he hands back the fucking mic. And everybody in that goddamn banquet hall So immediately did the analysis of looking up, like, I wonder who the two losers are. Like, who are the two? And it was such a scandalous ass thing. It was such a fucking like, what did you think your assignment was, dude? Like, what? And when he handed back the mic, the kid might as well have dropped it. Like, I just destroyed that. Like, I got you, coach. No problem. And the rest of the kids on stage were kind of like, oh yeah, those two dudes suck ass. So yeah, and we were pretty good the year before. So this all makes sense. So there you go. Girls are smarter than boys. Example number 8005. With that in mind, you guys, huge game on Wednesday. I hope that we are up, even despite my predictions, I hope we're up 2-0. And I'm sure we'll record a podcast after that one. So another quick shout out to the new Huddle members, Christina and Keenan. We love you. We need your help. For everyone else out there, if you like what we're doing, even a small amount, we're part of your weekly tradition. Hop onto Patreon. You can support us for as little as like $1 a month or $4. Why don't you make it $4? $4 a month would be even more helpful. But yeah, now with that in mind, go Warriors, and hopefully we'll see you real soon.